Hey everybody, we're going to be making this pot holder today. I wanted two of them, so I wanted to go ahead and make one just to show you what we would be working on. And I got the pattern from a website called Trish Stitch, and she had the instructions on there, but I found them to be kind of confusing. So I just went and picked up one of my pot holders that I had bought and turned it wrong side out and realized it's very simple. So thought I'd make a video since I'm using this fabric and making several kitchen pieces. It's these two pieces is all it is, and again you can get that for free off of stitchfix.com, I believe it is. So basically you're gonna have your main fabric, which is this right here, and then this is the lining on the inside. I just use the same fabric because I have so much of it. And then this could have been that as well, but I wanted it to be coordinating fabric, and instead of going with pink I decided to pick up a green. But very simple. Okay, so we're going to get right into it, and we're going to be using batting as well as this Insel Bright, which is used when you're making pot holders and things like that. I used this when I made the hot pads. So I only cut one piece of this because it's going to be on this part, since that's what's going to be grabbing on to the hot item. The part around the top of my hands is just going to be batting. Okay, so we're going to start out. I just did a rough cut of this because I'm going to quilt it, and then we'll cut out the pattern a little bit better. So basically I have got my green piece and then one piece of batting, and then I'm going to lay the Insel Bright on top of that, just making sure it's all even, and then one more piece of green. So before I cut out the oval, the proper pattern, I'm just going to do some quilting on this, very similar to whenever I did the hot pads and the Christmas stockings, just a basic pattern, but by all means you can do any kind of quilting on it you want. Alright, so this is the Insel Bright side, so I'm going to leave that turned up so I remember that. Now these pieces, if you're fussy cutting, you'll want to make sure that you know, you have it oriented the way you want it to go. For me, this is kind of a random piece, so you know, I wasn't too worried about where it was at. Now this piece, when I cut it out, was a little plainer, so that's the underside. But it could have just as easily been used as the lining on the inside. So just whatever your preference there. Now this one I'm going to go ahead and quilt. I have two of them, so I'm going to go ahead and quilt both of these, and we'll be right back. Now that we have everything quilted together, we're going to measure on both of these. We want to go up 3 inches and mark it, and then we're going to attach these two. There's really no reason to mark both pieces because you're sewing them together. But one thing I did just think of is this is my right side, so that's going to be on the inside. I want to flip this over, and I want to mark the side that I'll be sewing on so I can see it clearly. You could also just mark it with a pen. But this is such a lot of thickness that we're sewing through that I don't want to put pins in as well. Okay, now we're ready. We'll put our right sides together, and we're going to sew from the bottom up to that mark that we just made. So now what you're going to do is open this up, and mine is the same on both sides, so it's not going to matter. But if you was using a directional fabric or something that you had fussy cut, you know, just make sure your bottom and top is correct. So all we're going to do is clip these together, and we'll sew this half first. And then we will flip this under, and we'll be able to sew this. Okay, and this is going to be folded back so that we can start stitching on this side now. So now what I want to do is go in and trim some of this off, maybe trim out some of this thickness so that when I turn it, it'll be a little bit smoother there at the edge. But I'm going to go ahead and do that now. At this point, you have two options. You can go ahead and turn it, or if you want, you can do like I did with some of my stockings, where I put a binding on it all the way around just to keep it clean. This is in my kitchen. I'm not worried about having that binding, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it. So now all I have to do is put the binding on it. But you can see it's really nice inside. It's nice and clean. It's kind of shadowy. You may not be able to see in there. Hey guys, so I noticed that my camera had stopped recording at the very end. So I just wanted to show you a quick difference in them. This is the first one that I made and just put a regular band on it, right? And then when I made this one, everything's identical, except I decided to try a decorative stitch on my machine that I don't get to use very often. It's just a little vine, and that's what I closed the binding up with, and I thought it turned out really cute. So I just wanted to show you guys. Alright, so I hope you join me later whenever I do some more of these matching kitchen items. Meanwhile, though, have a great week. Bye.